Welcome to Khan's Econ Nugget channel. Today I'm going to discuss how to conduct a regression in Microsoft Excel 2013. If you already have your data analysis tool installed, then you are ready to follow along. If not, then please watch my previous video on the same channel to see how you can add on this data analysis tool on your Excel. So I have 2013 Microsoft Excel, but in any other previous version, if you have this data analysis tool installed, then you will be good to go. So let us briefly explain our data set here. I have a data set here regarding the death rate and some other socioeconomic variables. So the column A is having a variable titled death rate per thousand of residents, which would be our Y variable, that is the dependent variable. And then the next variable is the doctor per thousand of residents. There's going to be one of the independent variables, call it X1. And then our another independent variable is hospital availability per thousand of residents. And then the third and fourth independent variables are annual per capita income in thousands of dollars and population density per square miles. So now let's go ahead and click on this data tab and then find out the data analysis tools. And when the tools opens, locate for regression, and we found the regression. And then on this regression dialog box, they're looking for some data range. For input Y range, that's our dependent variable data range, and then input X range, which is our independent variable, or in this case independent variables range. So first let's populate the dialog box about our dependent variable data range. So our dependent variable is running from, basically it's running from the letter Y, which is referred to say dependent variable, and scrolling down to capture all the numeric data for this variable. And notice that I did not capture the full explanation or the legend of this variable, like death rate per thousand. We don't have to capture two alphabetical row for one numeric variable, so we'll just capture one alphabetical depiction of the numeric variable, which is Y. So make sure that if you have a legend, don't include the legend, just include one alphabetical variable symbol for each one. So for my Y variable is the populated, and the X variables, I have four of them. X1, which is doctor per thousand residents, and X2 hospital availability, X3 is about annual income, and X4 is population density. So let's capture all those independent variables from X1 through X4. And once we have selected them, now we're telling the machine by checking the box called labels that look, the first row that we selected in our case, that you should read that that's as a label. So don't get confused by why the letter, alphabets and numbers are combined in selection. So read the first row, which contains all the alphabets like Y, X1, X2, X3, X4. So read those as labels, and then read the numeric data from the row below. And then we keep this box unchanged because we want to see the constant value for this regression model, and we're going to check this box to get the confidence interval at 95%, and which means that our model, we can be confident about 95% about our model's authenticity. And of course that would also mean the 5% we're not so sure about. And then we have these box, we want the results in a new worksheet ply. Notice that this worksheet ply is titled data, and another one, once we get the result on a new worksheet ply, we can name it as results tab. And then we're going to check this box residual, standardized residual, residual plots, line fits. You can also check normal probability, and then we hit OK to get the regression results. We got the regression results, and we will interpret the results in another video, but just quickly speaking that notice that we have our multiple R squared values, adjusted R squared values, and we have 53 data rows. That's what this means. So we have 53 data points for each variable. And then we have and overall, residual, and the total, and we got the intercept, and we got the coefficients for each of those independent variables, and then standard errors, and the test statistic, and then p-values, and the confidence interval, and all those. But those would be subject to the next video to explain. But quickly speaking, the signs of these coefficients will imply the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. So if x1 will have a positive influence on the variability in the dependent variable, and the x2 variable will have a positive influence on the variation in the dependent variable, the third independent variable will have a negative impact on the variations in the dependent variable, which is death rate in this case. And the fourth one also would have a negative yet very small influence on the variation in the dependent variable. But we will explain in detail about them in the next video. But meantime, let's save this worksheet and call it a result. So please stay tuned so that we can explain these regression results in the new video. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your continued